Last time on the Incorrigible Party.
Finally arriving at the Paladin's new encampment in the mountains, Silas takes the party into a cave clearly used by the Neogi. Experiencing the alien creature's way of traveling long distances in a matter of seconds, they also discover strange egg-shaped cocoons with humanoids being kept inside. Quickly cutting to the heart of the matter with Samuel, Shakara demands both eyes of Dendar in exchange for the last pieces of the armor of Kalar, willing to use force if necessary.
Oh, what was that you wanted? More adventure? You got it.
There's no reason to do that.
Hey.
Look, we all trust each other here, and I hand him over the chest plate.
Shaft!
There doesn't need to be a fight here.
Samuel.
Let's everybody.
How long do you need the other eye?
It does not matter.
Do we need to discuss this in front of everybody? Like, maybe we...
The tower only needs to function as long as we're here on the new front line.
Then you best make a new front line.
Samuel, so as Shaft, as you have pulled out the chest piece and you're handing it to Samuel, you can feel there's a pull on it. Very slight, but it's almost like this magnetism as Samuel takes it from you. Now, he doesn't don it immediately.
I say, that one for the first eye, which is...
You do not know what we had to go through to get these for you. What I, personally, had to go through and give up to get this for you.
You agreed to retrieve the pieces.
You agreed to give me the eyes.
You will have them, Shakara. And by extension, Isabella.
Samuel, there's matters of urgent concern. I think the four of us would like to meet with you privately, if that's okay. And I look around at everybody.
Yes, I think that might be a better place to discuss all this.
We just have a few things to discuss, in private.
He will dismiss Silas, Lance, and Hannigan. They'll immediately kind of take off.
And Thuff the Younger, bye-bye.
He kind of looks at the goblin. Who is this?
You probably want to talk to him.
Yeah, I would like to talk to Samuel first, though, right, Shaft?
That's fine. Thuff, can you hang with Horik here for a few minutes?
Yeah, okay.
He's got some great stories. I mean, Horik's let me tell you, he'll have you rolling, and I think you need a good laugh, right? We've been through a lot.
Horik kind of sighs and will take Thuff. So I guess the Horik will take Thuff and follow Silas and Lance and Hannigan.
As they leave, I just go to Shaft. We need to get Samuel to visit this god.
Yeah, he can tell him all about it when we get to that point.
Yeah. So Samuel, this goblin that we've met, Thuff the Younger, he worships the Neogi god and calls himself an emissary for this god named Kuskaka. Okay? Have you heard of this god?
I have not.
This god has a body. He's alive. He's never seen him leave the mountains, but he lives in the caves of the Vorgrag Mountains, and in the heat of battle, protecting this breastplate, Falzarin died.
Yes, that is something we can deal with later.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's not really
I'm just saying.
Sammy's concern.
We don't need to burden Samuel with any of that. What we need to tell Samuel is that Thuff can take you to this god, if you so desire.
But this god saved Falzarin.
Okay, we can deal with that later.
We need to destroy the god, then we don't owe him any favors.
That's exactly what I didn't want you to say.
What? It's the truth. I speak the truth. Thor couldn't save him. I couldn't save him. The Neogi god saved Falzarin.
I think what we're getting at here is, Sammy, when you get all the stuff together, you can take care of this Niyogi, like you've said from the beginning.
Yeah,
right?
but the Niyogi aren't the problem. If there's a leader, if there's a god that they worship supplying them with power and magic, we need to take that god out now, and Thuff the Younger can take us there.
I'm growing
That's why
impatient.
I wanted to mention... You need to talk to Thuff the Younger, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that he worships this god that's probably supplying the Niyogi with all this power. We need to meet him, and with the armor, you can destroy their god. And with them, save Aspara.
Then the last piece, as he puts out a hand.
Give us the eyes.
I will freely give you one, but I told you, the second is in use.
Then give me the one.
I look back at Shakara and I sort of give her a little wink and put my hand down. I go, yeah, we'll give him, he can temporarily use it, but we're going to get it.
Do not give him the gauntlets until he gives us the one.
Okay, as you two are bickering, Samuel has turned to one of his personal guard and has sent them off to retrieve the eye.
We're not gonna win this fight.
I nod to you.
Samuel, what's the plan for this armor after Aspara's saved? Are we gonna hide it again?
If Shakara's intent is to bring the eyes immediately to Isabella, as that is what I understand it is, then assuredly I will need to use the armor against her.
Shakara's not on Izzy's side, right?
I don't know. She has come into here, levied nothing but threats, in demand of what I admittedly owe.
There's a lot of things going on here. This is a tangled web. And I look back at Shakara again, I go, and I reach into my sack, and I'm going, this is step one. And I pull the gauntlets out.
And if I was still a dragonborn, smoke would be curling out of my nose right now.
I pull out the gauntlets, and I sort of take 2 steps towards Sammy. I hold him out, and I go, we've held up our end. Give us the one eye, and when you're done with the other one, hopefully soon, we'll be on our way. No need for any violence.
I have never stated that I am taking the eyes to Isabella.
I've only gleaned that from your actions and your words. That's it.
You and I had a deal. You would give me the eyes for the armor.
Samuel, I know perhaps my word isn't worth any more to you than hers, but I would not be in favor of Isabella becoming any more powerful or having any more access to magic than she already does. I have had a very difficult past with Isabella, and I do believe that Shakara is on our side, if that helps.
Thank you, Falzarin.
I will take your counsel into consideration, Falzarin.
Falzarin kind of nods.
So, a very brief time. Okay, so if Shaft, if you were going to hand the gauntlets, the personal guard that was sent off returns with a lead box, and it's such a similar or perhaps the identical box in which you had put the amulet of Kalar when you handed it over to Sally. It's a very similar looking box. He hands it off to Samuel. Samuel will take it. He opens it, and this it's about a fist size blue rock, essentially. It looks like it's made a block of sapphire, and as the lid opens, immediately blue light spills out from it. You each can feel, as do the Samuel and the paladin and his guard, you can feel the effects of it kind of wash over you, and it is like a draining effect. It almost immediately, like it's trying to sap you of something, of energy. But he opens it and shows it to you, Shakara. Will close it back up, sealing off the light, and hands you the box.
How big is the box?
The box is probably is 8 inches long, 4 wide and 4 high.
Okay, I will put it immediately. I will hold it reverently and stick it in my bag gently.
Samuel now has all the pieces of armor. He dons the chest plate, and as he adds this 4th piece, he puts it on. The others begin to almost shine, and he slips on one of the gauntlet, and finally both And as he dons that last piece, that gleam from each piece of the armor intensifies. The amulet's center opens, and every sigil and symbol etched into it, right, that he had manipulated to locate the pieces with the cipher, they blaze with a blue light that spreads like a wave across Samuel's body, across every piece of Kalar's armor. Samuel grimaces, gauntlets clench into fists, his muscles flexed, his back arches and his head kind of tilts back as his body lifts off the ground. The light now completely outlines his body. This illumination, it stretches and flows as if casting a shadow in front of him, creating this corporeal, naked form of a muscular man with long hair, tethered to Samuel by wisps and coils of blue light. Samuel lets out a strangled cry as the blue form's mouth opens to let out a soundless bellow of its own in unison with Samuel, twisting its handsome features into an ugly grimace. Lasting only an instant, though, before the blue form and Samuel kind of snap together. Koltice brought to a knee as he lands, hands braced against the ground, breathing heavily. As he stands, the blue outline recedes from his extremities, flowing back towards the amulet. From his hands and his feet and his head, down his arms and legs and neck, the golden shimmer is replaced once more on the boots, the gauntlets, the helm, as that light passes over those pieces and then through sections of his body that the armor does not cover. His forearms, upper arms, shoulders, quads, and lower torso. A sapphire crystalline structure of overlapping scale-like plates. They form, bridging the gap between the pieces. Between the bottom of the helm and the top of the chest plate. The golden sheen returned now to it as well. Blue outline completely consumed by the amulet, withdrawn into it as it closes. Samuel's fists relax, his breathing returns to normal, and a blue energy briefly flares from the palms of his hands. The gray coloring of his hair that was visible at his temples around the helm, now gone. Age lines and creases in his brow at the corner of his eyes also gone, as he seems to have de-aged a decade, 2 decades possibly, into a young man once again.
Where does this power come from?
It comes from the pieces themselves. As he's kind of looking, I did not know what the outcome would be exactly.
Now that you got everything, you got all the power, time to go kill some Nyogi, right?
It is.
So, you're gonna be moving out.
We will. If I can get this entryway functioning once again.
You know, Samuel, I was going to mention, actually, perhaps I can use my magic to try and investigate or identify how it works. It must have some magic of its own. Perhaps I can glean a little bit of how it works, and it might help you or me or someone be able to figure it out.
Or we could ask Thuft.
That's true. Perhaps Thuft would know.
Bring me this goblin.
Samuel,
Horik! I wave him over.
if Dendar was to return, you could banish her again on your own.
I would try.
It was more than just Kalar that did it before.
It was.
Do you know how it was done?
I do not. The details are incredibly sparse. I was hoping a member of the Zelwick line would be able to aid me.
Unfortunately, the Zelwick line is no more.
Then I suggest our best course of action is to avoid Dendar's return.
I am in agreement with you, despite what you obviously believe. I have no more desire to give these eyes to Isabella than any of you.
I believe you, Shakara.
What will you do with them then?
I am not sure yet.
Maybe we'll put him someplace where nobody can find him.
Maybe our Triton friends can do something with them, like they banished my father.
Mia, not everybody needs to know every detail of everything that happens.
Horik!
just telling the truth.
There is telling the truth, and there is just not saying anything.
Well, then tell me ahead of time. I don't know what's off limits.
Most things.
That's not helpful.
Well, let's not... Samuel, I don't want you to get the wrong idea that we are trying to withhold things from you.
He holds up a hand to all of you. The increase in abilities this armor gives me does not include an increase in my patience.
Let me introduce you to Thuff the Younger, emissary to Kozlaka.
No, quite. Stop. Oh, that was pretty
I'm
good.
sorry.
It.
Well, thanks.
Oh.
Thanks.
That was good? Okay.
He can tell you all about how the, Nyogi and this, chambers like this, and he may be able to help you with this, problem you have. Right? Thuff the Younger, you're a smart guy from what I can tell.
I don't know if I'm that smart, though. Thuff's kind of eyeing the armor. I don't know. Did you try, walking through it?
Is he talking to Samuel?
He is talking to Samuel, yeah.
Yes.
I take 2 or 3 steps back away from Thuff the Younger.
Samuel walks over to Thuff the Younger and will grab him by the back of his robe. And to Thuff the Younger's credit, Thuff kind of stands up a little taller, to meet Samuel, even though Samuel's like 6'6" himself, right? 6'5", I think he's 6'5", looming over him. But he picks him up and takes him to the membrane and kind of pushes him, not entirely gently, against the membrane.
Samuel, you just had to ask.
We have tried walking through it. As he drops Thuft.
Thuft, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. You know how many times I've done that? As he brushes himself off, getting to his feet.
You know what might help here is, like Mia was saying, maybe if Thuff the Younger, if you take Samuel to meet Kozlaka, he has all the information on how this stuff works. Maybe those two can work it out. I mean, they're both very powerful people, they're far smarter than any of us.
Okay. I don't control these things,
No, not at all. You're just an emissary. You're going to, put the powerful people together. Let them talk it out. I look up at Samuel, and I go, will that help?
I will converse with your god. If we cannot come to an amenable agreement, the Yogi leaving Aspara, then I will have to destroy them.
Samuel, again, not everybody needs to know all the details.
You gotta warn us ahead of time.
For now, I don't know about you guys, but I am beat.
Thuft the Younger, you don't have any ideas about how this works or how we could get, the one back there worked fine. Why doesn't this one work?
I just know that they can shut him off on the other side.
Is it a magical means of doing that?
I don't know. I think it's just like a Yogi thing. It's like a weird spider thing.
So they locked it.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess. That's probably... Yeah, that spelled it out. Yeah. L-U-K-E. Locked.
Yeah. Luck.
No,
So
no lock.
someone who's a magic user like myself and quite good with magic, I might say,
You might say.
wouldn't be able to open it or unlock it.
Oh, I don't know. I've never met somebody like you. If you want to try it. The only thing I know about your power is that you die really good.
Oh.
Well, yes. Thank you for noticing.
Is
Thuft the Younger.
there a resting place nearby? I'm picking up what Shaft's laying down.
I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but... And I look over at Falzer and go, I'm spent. I'm sure you are.
This has been a lot. This has been a long day.
I mean, I'm assuming you have no spell slots left. I know Mia has nothing.
I got 2 from the ring.
Well, what I was thinking is Falzarin could ritual cast Identify.
If you want to, I've got 2 spell slots from the ring, but what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you guys hungry?
I don't know. I'm tempted to use it. Identify doesn't cost me anything, right?
Sure, if you want to ritual cast it.
10 minutes of your life.
Shafted me. I know we're all very tired, and certainly I perhaps feeling that more than any of us, but I do have some magic that costs me very little to use if I just have a short amount of time. Samuel, do we have about 10 minutes? I can try and perhaps learn something about this. I just need to study it a little while.
Just spend 10 minutes studying it and see what you find out.
Do what you can, Falzer.
Okay, I will try my best. So Falzarin will attempt to ritual cast Identify.
Does he get, like, advantage for being half Neogi now or anything? I've been calling Bill Falgi around the house as a a mixed name. It's either Falgi or Neolzi, but you know.
Neozarin?
So you take your 10 minutes to cast Identify. And so throughout that 10 minutes, Thuft the Younger, he seems quite curious about the armor of Kalar, right? He's not so subtly like staring essentially, but trying to, Samuel will repeatedly catch him staring at him, and Thuft the Younger will kind of quickly look away. And Samuel, he certainly his patience is wearing thin, as he's mentioned a number of times. But Samuel himself too. When the first assembly of the armor, right, in those first few minutes, it was like he was overcharged. Even just the way the armor themselves, the pieces gleamed and shimmered. That, as the time progresses, seems to have dulled or lessened. So almost like imperceptibly, but like it's very clear when you're that charged, like that amped up, right? The first assembly of pieces that haven't been united in like thousands of years, right? A very long time. He doesn't stand quite as tall, right, as he did first. It's like almost as if like it's literally like starts to weigh on him and pulls him down. So he kind of constantly like correcting himself, taking additional efforts to even like function in the armor. Falzer in your Identify goes off, and you don't get any information from Identifying. It doesn't seem to work like it would on, like you just did on the magical items. It's as if you've tried to do it on like a piece of stone.
Does this, I guess during that 10 minutes I'm studying it, the Identify spell doesn't help me at all, but do I recognize anything about this that I could link back to something I've read in a book perhaps, or learned on my time in Heraklion that I could potentially know something about how this works?
This specific mode of transportation and stuff the Younger has described it, you've never read or heard of anything like it. So it's literally like you've tried to identify an inert piece. Like if you had like a normal sword and you had tried to identify a standard like longsword, that's kind of what it's like. There's just nothing for you to no insight for you to gain through your arcane ability. There's just it gives you nothing.
Okay, it's as though I like cast Identify on the wall adjacent to it.
That's correct, yeah. And now that may be just because, like, as Thuft Younger has kind of said, and Shakar elaborated on, like, it's literally just been like locked or shut or closed, to use the way a door would function, right? That might be it. That might be the reason.
Okay. I don't know, I probably would have been touching and feeling it while I was casting Identify, so never mind. I was going to say I'll reach out and touch it and just see, like...
Yeah, with 2 hands.
Reach out and touch someone.
Honk, honk.
That's how you identify things.
Well, Samuel, it was worth a shot, I guess, but I've tried my best, and my magic doesn't seem to be up to figuring out what's going on here, unfortunately.
We've located other cave entrances. Perhaps we can find a functioning way in.
We have Thuff the Younger. The god wants to meet with us.
By his own admission, he cannot get us through. What use is he?
He can Sari.
Thuff, do you have other ways to take us there, correct?
Well, I mean, we want to go back to the cave that I left. I know that one works.
You know, Samuel, I'm certainly not at my full potential at the moment. Perhaps after a bit of rest, I have other magic that might be able to penetrate this.
Agreed. It is late. We cannot mobilize at all in the middle of the night anyways. I must speak with the generals, form a plan now that the armor is assembled.
Yes, I think we are quite an effective team, us four. I think if we are able to rest for the night and mobilize in the morning, we could potentially add quite a bit of aid to your efforts. But not in the state that we're in.
Your intention is to join us then?
I kind of look around to the other three.
Sure.
This is the threat that we need to deal with.
I don't know what the future holds. As of right now, I am here.
Once again, you give me reassuring words, Shakara.
Have you given me any?
Hey, guys.
Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Yeah, let's Shakara, let's go rest. We are completely spent.
My patience wears thin as well.
Yes, Shakara, I think we're all very, very tired. We'll be more ourselves tomorrow.
If you had the eye, like we said, we don't know what we're gonna do with them. So, like,
yeah. Let's and I sort of go over to Shakara like I'm gonna reach out and sort of touch her, and then I pull back and don't, and go. We can talk about this in the morning. Let's get some shut eye when we're all feeling, ready to go. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Lots can happen tomorrow. I'm enjoying this ring.
Sammy's not lied to us yet.
As far as we know.
And I start to walk away and sort of shrug my head over at Horik and like, come on, buddy.
Yeah. As we walk back to the room, I'll be like, this knowledge of a god thing, that's awesome. There's a weak point maybe we can hit, right? Right, Shaft?
So I walk away like I know where I'm going, and as I pass over Silas, I go, hey, where are we going to go sleep? Where is there a place for us to go?
I'm just following you.
Silas is outside of the cave, as he was dismissed, right? But that's where you go down the steps, and he's essentially waiting for you, and can show you each 2 accommodations. You can each have your own tent. While down at the tower too. Many of the tents were far larger. The ones up here, it seems it's much easier to have smaller tents, right? More along the lines of individual tents to be able to better, build a support for them or less to dig into them to create that level ground. So many of the tents and the storage, even the storage tents up here, seem to be smaller and scaled down than what was below on the relatively flat, desert-like terrain. So you can each certainly have, a cluster of tents set up for you, and you can each have your own sleeping quarters, really. Does somebody want to still continue to keep an eye on Thuff the Younger? Essentially, Silas is, you've taken the charge of Thuff the Younger, right? Because Silas doesn't really want anything to do with him. If you insist that you hand him off to Silas, Silas will take him, but Silas have him bound and gagged. Like, you know where Silas stands on that.
Thuft, who would you like to stay with?
Falzarin will look over to Shaft and kind of look between Shaft and Thuft and Shaft. I think perhaps we would be able to keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't escape. What do you think, Shaft?
Oh, that's fine. He can sleep next to me. Or, Falzarin, if you want to get the tent next to me, and he can stay with you.
Thuft, who would you like to stay with?
Oh, well, thanks for giving me the choice, I guess. Kind of looks between Shaft and Falzarin and Horik. Kind of gives Horik a dirty look.
Or Mia or I?
He gives Mia an even dirtier look.
Yeah, that's what I
maybe
thought.
the skinny one, as he points to Falzarin.
Sleep well, you two.
Probably a good choice. I snore pretty loud.
Yes, you do.
Okay, you can bed down for a long rest.
When I get to my tent by myself, I want to pull out the box with the eye in it. Not open it yet. I just want to hold it and see if I can connect to Dendar at all. Like if I can feel her.
You get nothing.
And if I open the box a little bit.
The light illuminates your tent. Remember, like even a crack, it seems like it throws way more light than it should. That just perforates everything. And for you, that you in the cave, right? You got that same like sapping, draining feel, and you still get that feeling from the light. Like you're not immune to it in any way, it seems. Although again, you are attuned to a cube, right? So
Yes, I am.
You're feeling like you're feeling something, knowing that you're attuned to a cube. Immediately, like you're not racked with levels of exhaustion, or because of the cube, you don't have to make any effects. But being exposed to it longer, and kind of this close proximity again, you feel something. You do feel this draw from this thing, kind of similar to what like Shaft would have felt with this armor pulling itself towards Samuel and the rest of the pieces. Like you are pulled to the eye. So how far open do you have this box?
A couple inches. Not a lot. I want to touch it. I want to reach a finger in and touch it.
Do any of us see her tit glowing blue?
This girl's like, I'm not gonna give him to Izzy, but I'm gonna touch it.
Falzarin's mostly just concerned with the fact that he's about to wake up with a knife in his chest again
Oh my god.
after just dying.
And a tattoo on your forehead too.
I think I'm going to take Emily off mic.
Okay.
Shakara, as you make contact with it, that draw intensifies. Like almost unwittingly, the box is open and the eye is in your hand. Like you didn't even think about grabbing it that way, but that's just what has that part of that draw. You just find it now sitting in your palm, and the glow seems to lessen, and in a similar way that a blue light kind of washed over Samuel from the amulet, like the light does a similar thing to you before kind of fading into you. And you peering into the eye, you start to see something within it. You see swirls of this blue, and you do see an eye, a giant eye, looking at you.
Dendar?
It kind of blinks.
I don't know. I didn't even think this through. I don't know what to say.
Do you know who I am?
Its pupils kind of narrow.
Do you know who Isabella is?
It flares. The pupil flares.
Are you happy with Isabella?
As you know, it's only a single eye. Like, it can't even... So, emoting, it doesn't have very much options for emoting.
Flare once for yes and twice.
But as it is like reacting though, the pupils dilating. In addition to that physical response, you do get through the waves of blue, like emotions. Mostly emotions might not even be. You get glimpses into thought. So it's something deeper even than emotion, but not something that you can really express in words. But you get like destructive tendencies. You get certainly flares of anger. But those feelings come with it comes with baggage. I want to say baggage, but it's like these feelings have been all that the entity that you're connecting with, the Dendar, has felt and known for so long, that she can't even express anything else, even something that may bring her joy, like her freedom that would assuredly bring her joy. That's all you get. You just get hatred, and you get anger, and you get almost like you start to get a feeling of claustrophobia. And when you mention Isabella, some of those lessen, as if some of it is abated. Some of those feelings are nearly quelled.
As in, she is happy with Isabella. She's less angry when she thinks about Isabella.
Possibly. That is an interpretation, yes.
I am in possession of one of your eyes here in the world. I may be able to get the other. Would you aid me in destroying Isabella?
Holding the eye, after your question, your arm, like, it begins to get heavy, and in the back of your mind, you can like hear this a rattling, of chains. In addition to these feelings, right? So now you're starting to get like auditory senses the longer you connect with the eye. And again, like that sense of claustrophobia and imprisonment. So when you ask this question of Dendar, those feelings start to subside as well.
You need your eyes to be freed.
They subside more. That you get the inverse of claustrophobia, like an openness kind of starts to pierce this veil of negative emotion.
You aid me. I may be in a position to aid you.
You get a resounding blink.
Did not think I was going to get to actually hold the eye.
There are many I would not want harmed if you return. And there are many I would like very much to see you destroy. May I contact you again?
Again, a feeling of openness.
I will put the eye back in the box and close it.
Doing so, withdrawing, the blue light extinguished from the lead box, contained by the lead. And now your hand in which you're holding it, your skin has paled and blackened, clearly affected by your exposure to it. And you have suffered a level of exhaustion throughout your brief interaction with Dendar.
When I opened the box, was there room for the second eye in this same box?
No, actually, the eyes are pretty large.
So I would need a second box in order to hold the second eye.
That's right.
Okay, I hope that wasn't a massive mistake.
Falzer and you and Thuff the Younger are sharing a tent.
Thuft, what on earth? Can't you keep your mouth shut? Haven't I taught you anything over these years?
What do you mean? It's Thuff the Younger, by the way. I don't know how many times I have to tell you all that.
I know it's Thuff the Younger. How could you have told them about my body?
What? What do you mean you're... And he, like, clasps his mouth, like, yes, as kind of a realization. And he kind of takes a tentative step towards you and, like, squints at your face and kind of pulls at your arm a little bit. And he gets down on his knees and like starts to bow in front of you. You're here. What? How?
Get up. Stop groveling.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Of course.
We need to work together, okay? They already know too much, but I think we can take advantage of this.
They're very smart. They figured out a lot of stuff.
Yes, they have. But our plans are not yet undone.
Okay, well, I mean, what do we do? I didn't want to... you didn't open the membrane portal.
No. I think that's too dangerous. That Samuel... I don't know if he could get in there. I didn't want to risk it. But I think we have an opportunity. These friends of this Falzarin body, this weakling that I'm in, they are very powerful in their own right, and I think we have a brief period of time to perhaps be able to add them to our cause.
Oh, I mean, they're not as near as powerful as you. No, nobody is.
Naturally, yes, of course. But you've seen Mia and Shakara and Shaft?
Oh, is that what their names are?
Yes.
Oh, I never thought to ask.
Mia, a connection to Thor, another god. Shakara, a powerful part of a coven. And Shaft, well, he's very smart and cunning and also very dangerous in his own right.
How do you know all this?
Well, I have the memories of this weak creature that I'm inhabiting, but I need to get back to my body. Before then, though, I think if we can get them to split, and I can get them alone, I might be able to overpower them.
Okay, what do you want Thuff the Younger to do?
Well, I have a couple different ideas. I think perhaps you might just need to play along. I'm going to continue to pretend that I am this Falzarin, and I think I'm going to convince them that I heard you talking in the night to someone, telepathically perhaps, about another backup body of mine that is hidden, and that might be the bait that I need to get this party to split off with Falzarin, get them alone.
Oh, you're smart.
Yes, I am. Do you understand the plan? I'm going to pretend that me, Falzarin, knows about a second backup body that also could be used and needs to be destroyed, and Samuel's going to have to make a decision. He can't go after both of them. And I'm hoping the party will try to take you along with them as sort of a prisoner and a bit of a guide, and force you to show them where this second body, wink wink, is.
Oh, okay. I can do that. There's lots of places they can go.
Yes, I want to get them into the tunnels.
Okay. Somewhere dangerous.
Yes, exactly.
How about we could do one of the hatcheries, one of the Umber Hulk hatcheries, or where we make that gross red and brown goose stuff. How about maybe down to like the where we mine the metals and stuff. Or what about the lava pool where the ships are?
Oh, yes, I like that idea.
We could throw them in it.
Yes. You've been a good servant, as always, Thuff the Younger. Well, I mean, forgetting the recent admission of all of this very valuable information, but...
No, they figured it out on their own. I didn't tell them anything.
It's fine. We'll deal with that later. It's fine, Thuff the Younger.
Am I the best emissary you ever had?
The best, surely.
Yes.
So Falzarin kind of almost has like He knows that Thuff the Younger is not all that bright, but he also knows that he needs him. So he kind of has like, he smiles, but there's almost a hint of like malice in this smile that Thuff the Younger wouldn't pick up on.
Yeah, and like the Thuff the Younger like matches your smile, like even wider, right? He's incredibly happy to get any amount of praise from you.
So the plan is, I'm going to try and get away from you tomorrow to speak to these other three where you won't be present, and I'm going to tell them this little secret that I heard you talking about last night.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll sleep in, yeah.
Perfect.
But I will actually sleep in, though. I'm quite tired.
Yes, okay.
My wrists still hurt from when they tied me up.
All right. Well, anything else you can tell me that is important since we've last spoken?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could probably look and see, but your body's like pretty much done. It looks pretty cool and gross. So once you get in it, it's gonna be glorious.
Yes, I've been waiting for a long time.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
So you okay? I'm gonna call you when I refer. When we're alone, you and I, Bill, I'm going to call you K instead of having to say Kakla every time.
Perfect. That'll be a lot easier for me.
Okay, so, K, while you are a god, you still inhabit a mortal form. So the Falzarin's body from that fight, after you inhabited it and possess it, it's still battered, and you still feel the effects of that, right? It's still dulled, I would say, a little bit as you're... There's almost like there's still a very thin divide between yourself as K and Falzarin's body, right? It's not... You're not entirely like 100% in tune with it. It's almost like you still need to adjust to using it, right? And operating within it. Although that is coming very quickly. Again, you have all of Falzarin's memories, and you can, with perfect recall, go through past events that has happened to him. It's literally as if you were flipping through like a Rolodex or an encyclopedia and just come into a page looking for something. Oh, I need to recall this. Micro of a second, you can bring up that memory as if it was happening over again. Like, that's the type of access, unfettered access you have to Falzarin's mind and body. So, his mortal form still does need rest. So you will need to still take long rests for the abilities that Falzarin has access to, his arcane abilities, to also recharge. So all that is going to happen, all that needs to happen the same way. So you can do so, and as you do, if you were Falzarin, you would, as you drift off into sleep. What happens for you is a little different, though, in that once the physical body starts to go through that same process of getting into the REM and then the deep sleep, while a lot of that also happens within the brain, you can go elsewhere. Inside the body, you don't go to sleep. You don't shut down for the night. Your consciousness keeps going, and you inside of Falzarin kind of feel restless, and you kind of reach out. You try to project yourself outside of it, very similar to the way you would when predominantly your existence was on the astral plane, which is where you found Falzarin pleading for Thor. That was a section of the astral sea. Where the city resides, the afterlife, essentially, the city of judgment. So much like when you're on that plane and inhabit without a physical form, you can reach out and tap into and through that membrane, that Niyogi technology, for lack of a better word. But it's like this it's almost like a biometric system that functions partly through arcane means, but mostly there's the innate physical characteristics of it allow signals to travel great distances across this material. It serves as a central nervous system for the Niyogi cave system, of course, which you do know. And you can reach out and tap into that and essentially listen in on all the signals that are getting transferred constantly from Neogi on one end of the cave system all the way to the other without having to travel those distances to speak to each other. It's incredibly efficient as far as needing to, you listen in, you hear mobilization of forces against Paladin, and you're getting updates on, how many people they've moved in from like cities like Altenshik and Barrack, where you also know that those cities have completely fallen to Neogi control. So you can get all of that information, every single bit of information that travels through that central nervous system, that webbing system, you can tap into, you can pick up on, you can view audibly and visually through many areas within the cave system as well, like looking in on your body and seeing how that is coming along. Is there a specific section you might want to like look in on and see, get an update for?
That's it. End of the show. Thanks for listening. But before you go, I got a couple of things I want to tell you about. You can find the Incorrigible Party all over the interwebs. You can just go to incorrigibleparty.com and you can find all the links there. While you're there, check out the Patreon. There's some really cool stuff you could do with the Patreon, like give inspiration to Shaft. Or you can waste it and give it to one of those other mooks. Even worse, you could give it to Leland. Also, you can get access to mini campaigns and other cool stuff that we do. You're automatically entered into all contests. I mean, it's really a great deal. The Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design. All ambient sounds and music provided by tabletopaudio.com. Intro and outro music is by Josh Jarvis, and you can email him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com if you need any music stuff. Okay, that's it. Now you can go. Happy adventuring!